Good morning, everyone. This is Mike AI5QK, and today I am going to release my K4 software that I've renamed to QK4. So I am going to release and post the links to the GitHub, which I've now changed from private to public, and I will go ahead and give you guys the links in the comments to both the public repo and the GitHub pages. And what I'm doing, right now is I'm giving everyone access to the precompiled executables for Windows. I think it's Windows 11 and newer, although it will run on Windows 10, Mac OS, M1 and newer processors. And then as part of a side project, just for fun, the latest version of Raspberry OS, Pi 4B will run it just fine. And I believe the latest code name for that Raspberry OS is going to be Trixie. So let's get started. My GitHub is located here, and it's github.com/mike-g-dal/QK4. And that'll take you directly into the GitHub repo. It's going to show you the latest release, the linting's passing, and it'll give you a link to download the latest release, as well as all the information. If you would like to compile it from source, it's listed here for you, as well as the GPL license. So if you click over to a couple different ways you can do this. If you're actually interested in the repo, you can come to this site, and you can actually see all the source code here. If you click on releases, it should take you to the releases page, and it's going to show you all of my draft releases. But go ahead and change that to tags, and then it'll at the top of that list will show you the latest precompiled version. So once you click on that, it'll show that when it was released, the version of it, as well as the precompiled executables for the 3 operating systems that I'm supporting. I shouldn't say supporting, for the 3 operating systems that I've gotten it to run on. So if you don't want to take that route, I've created a GitHub pages a link as well. So that one is a little easier to navigate and maneuver. So that one is mike-g-dal.github.io/QK4/. So that'll show you the current version, and the date it was released. It'll show you the hash beneath each of them, as well as any other updates that I feel like posting. I'll probably try to fit it in on this page, just trying to make it as easy as possible. As far as downloading goes, the demo I'm giving right now is going to be for Mac OS, but it's going to be identical on Windows and Raspberry Pi, as far as the downloading goes. And there's no installation, and there should be no prerequisites required other than the hardware, right? So let's go ahead and hit download here for Mac OS. As you can see, it downloaded the latest version. We'll go ahead and go to the downloads folder, open it up. Here's the QK4 app. You'll grab it, drag it into your applications, open the applications folder, and then you will look for the QK4. We'll go ahead and right click open or double click, and it'll say, is the app safe, right? So I've signed it, notarized it with my Apple ID. So you'll say okay, and that'll open up the app. One sec while I power up the K4. So I've heard from different users that some of the icons are kind of hard to read, or they're kind of hard to see. So for me, let me show you the resolution that I'm currently running on right now. That'll kind of give you guys perspective. So if we go into my resolution of my Mac displays, so I'm running a 3008 by 1692. and this is I'm on a 27-inch Samsung display. So for me, this looks fine. I mean, I can see this is a little globe, right? And I can see this is the help, and none of the buttons appear to be compressed or squished or anything like that. So if you're noticing anything like where your buttons are compressed or squished, a couple of things to check. One is your resolution. Make sure your resolution is high enough to support the app. And then two, if you're running any sort of scaling, and you'll find that in the display settings of your respective OS, you might want to play around with the scaling just to make sure that's not what's happening. Some indicators that you'd want to look for to find out if that might be the issue would be some of these buttons or the text is going to be overly compressed, and as far as I know, there's no way that I can, predict and support every single version, every single resolution, every single monitor. Some people will run a higher resolution, but they'll turn scaling on, right? And then once they turn scaling on, there's a variety of settings that they can choose within scaling. So it was a little hard for me to sort of predict that. So what you see is kind of what you get here, based on my dev workstation. So how to connect? The globe icon. We'll go ahead and hit that. So mine's pre-populated since I had already installed it. You'll have the name just like you would on a normal K4. You'll type in the host or the IP address, and the port and the password. So the port, if you want it to use the standard port that a K4 to K4 uses or a K40 to K4 uses, then that's going to be port 9204. And then the password that's defined or set on the K4 that you're connecting to, right? If you don't want to use that port for whatever reason, maybe you're a Mac user and you're forwarding some other developer software on port 9205. So what you would do is you would just change this port to 9205, and then you would turn off TLS encryption, right? These are the default settings. So EM3 is Opus encoding, and then the streaming latency of 3, which is, from what I recall, the standard out of the box. Make sure once you fill all this in, you hit save. It'll bring over the server right here. Go ahead and hit connect, and depending if it's the first time you're connecting or if you've already run before, you may see a pop-up that's saying, do you wish to give this application access to the local network, right? And of course, it needs that to find the server that it's connecting to, right? So let's see what this one does. We'll hit connect. So since I've already run it on this workstation, that pop-up didn't happen. But your volume controls are going to be here for main and sub, right? And you just click your mouse and that'll click and drag, right? So normalization for your filters is going to be the same as a K4. You'll hit that normal button, and as you notice, the filter changed, right? So how to get through the menus? All menus, the majority of the menus, they are normal left click. So that's going to activate the menu or the button, the menu. And if you see an alternate text, with the exception of these, right, that's going to be alternate text is going to be orange, right, with the exception of these buttons here. For right now, I'm using a normal left click. Okay. But if you wanted to engage the alternate text for some of these other buttons, like maybe this, the sub antenna, right? So a normal left click is going to engage the RX antenna, right? So that's the primary click, primary button, primary function. If you want to engage the alternate function, the one below it, that's going to be the other click. So that'll be your right click. So if you look over here at RX loop, right, this is my sub antenna and my sub receiver or VFOB. So what I'm going to do is go over here to the RX antenna button, and I'm going to right click, right? And if you have a secondary antenna configured, right, it'll cycle through these. So cycling, this is the primary left click. Primary left click for your receive antenna, I should say. And then you'll have the, let's try the tuner. So ATU is bypassed right now. So to turn it on, I will right click. As you can see, the tuner turned on. Now we will turn it back off by right clicking again. The menus down here, same thing. So you'll just do a normal left click, and I'm using my mouse wheel right now to scroll through. Okay. And then you have your B set, turn on B set, and you'll notice that the filters over here on the left-hand side have changed from, it was the blue color to a green color to signify it's the subreceiver or VFOB, so as I'm toggling it on and off here. So the main and sub RF, so those are just normal clicks. Left click. Let's turn the volume down here. Turning on a subreceiver would be another example of the alternate function. So, or I should say diversity. So subreceiver, to turn it on, you can left click, and as you see now we got the subreceiver on. If I want to turn diversity on, if you notice that's in orange, so that will be a right click. As you can see now we have diversity turned on. Okay, so let's go ahead and turn them all off. I can turn them both off at the same time by just turning off the subreceiver, and there they go. Okay, so let's turn it back on. And let's go ahead and go display. And what we're going to do is cycle through the pan adapter to bring up both waterfalls. So there's B, okay, and then there's A and B. And I got there by simply just doing a left click. So now you can see we have both A and B running here. QK4, RX loop. All right, so let's take a look here. Sub RX, antenna config, RX1, TX antenna. We're going to go use a subset here. So that way I can use RX1 and TX antenna as my options. So we'll go ahead and go back now. And let's see if this does. There you go. So now you can see I'm right clicking and changing through my antennas. So right click and then left click is going to change this one here. Okay. Changing frequencies, a couple of different ways. You could use your mouse wheel, right? As you can see, the frequency changing. I just flicked my mouse wheel and the frequencies indicator is moving. Okay. Another option for you guys that was requested is the ability to type in a frequency. So let's say I wanted to change to 7200, right? So that's probably a bad example. Let's say I wanted to change to, I don't know, 7150. So let's go ahead and click on the 0 here. Okay, if you noticed, you have a small blue line. So I'm just going to type 150 on my keyboard. 150, and I'm going to hit enter. There you go. Now it's changing to 7150. Mini pans, just click anywhere in this area on the multifunction meter. I'll bring up both mini pans. Okay. Modes, a couple different ways. You can click the CW or the A. Bring up mode down here. Just go through lower sideband. And or you could let's see, modes, disband. Actually, I think there's only one way to change modes. Sorry about that. So there you go. All these they're going to function similar to the K4, right? So if you wanted to do that, you can set up your memory presets. Multifunction or sub functions here. So preamp and attenuation. So if I want to turn on the attenuator, I'll just right click, brings that here, turn it on, off. Let's go ahead and do a B set, and you can see the buttons light up here. So if we go B set, and we're going to turn on attenuator, turn that on. There you go. It tells you the level of attenuation. You can change these by using your mouse wheel if you wanted to, or you can use the plus or minus, your choice. Let's go here to QK4 preferences. So if you want to find out a little more about the radio, installed options, version, software, it's going to be your about page. Your audio input and audio output, so your microphone, USB mic, right? That's going to be in here. Audio output, rig control. If you were using software like WSJTX or something like that and wanted WSJTX to trigger the push to talk, you'll just go ahead and enable cat server, and then you'll point WSJTX to I believe it was like localhost and then this port. CW keyer, that is for this little guy, which is the Heli key. So I have that plugged into my Mac right now. I believe it's supported on Windows as well. Essentially, it's a USB-C dongle that you plug your paddles into, and USB-C into the computer on the other side. Let's go ahead and hit connect. Okay, we'll hit enable. I generate side tone locally. KPod, it's detected. So go ahead and enable that. Okay, so KPod, here you go. I'm turning the KPod's knob for VFOA, flipping the multi-function, I guess, rocker switch to VFOB. As you can see, that's moving as well. And then put it on RITXIT. As you can see, that is changing zoom because I have that set as the OFS knob alternate for pan span. So other things that you guys might want to know about, let's see, we got the paddles, generating side tone locally, mic, compression, all the stuff should function. Most important, this is still in beta. So keep that in mind as you use this. And yeah, if you have any feedback or any major bugs, please let me know. And my goal is to get this, stable. As far as I know, I haven't had any reports from the people that are testing it for me of major issues. So what's missing are probably going to be small UI elements that people want to see that I haven't created yet. One example of that is down here in the lower left-hand corner. When you click on this area, it doesn't cycle through the alternate display that shows your call sign, right? I tried to be as thorough as I could, but I've gotten to the point where, to me, everything looks fine. So it's at the point now where I need more sets of eyes to take a look in here and tell me what's missing. But I think it's pretty self-explanatory. The only gotcha is just the clicking, right? Because that's a little different. The left click for the primary, right click for the alternate. You can click and hold, and that'll drag your waterfall here. You can move your mouse up to the RITXIT area. You can turn things on from up here if you wanted to. Right click or normal left click turns them on and off. If you move your mouse wheel in this area, it'll zoom. Right, so as you can see, it's zooming for the B side because I have B set on, and then turn that off. Should zoom for the A side. So that's pretty much all I have for you guys. To push to talk, let's go ahead and see. So allow access for sure. Okay, so for push to talk, this is Alpha India 5, Quebec Kilo was this frequency in use. Okay, so there's your push to talk. I'll need some people reporting back on that just to make sure that sounds good and there's no issues there. Not a whole lot I have control over. If it doesn't sound great, ultimately it's just I'm passing that data to the K4 Opus encoded the way it's asking for it, right? So things like latency or if you're over Wi-Fi, there's just not a whole lot I can do inside software to make that better. So my recommendation would be to test it first over wired, see how it sounds. If it's giving you the expected results, then test it over wireless. And if you see a big difference between the two, it would typically point to then a wireless sort of problem. Either you're associated to your SSID at a slower rate than you should be. There's congestion on the wireless network, or that wireless channel is congested. So just things to think about when you're operating remote. I think that's pretty much it. Let's see, did I already go through everything up here? I think I did. Right. Okay. yeah, so enjoy this. Please let me know on my GitHub page if there's any sort of problems. Reach out, and I'll do my best to get it resolved in a timely manner. So for now, not adding anything new. So try to avoid requesting something totally new. Uh, I'm only trying to fix something that may not be working as intended. Once we get all of those things resolved, then we can start to look at adding, move this here, move that there, sort of a thing. Or hey, can you integrate clusters, or can you do something that's not already built into the app? Because I really want to make sure that it is stable and that it's enjoyable, and that people can actually use this before we start tacking on additional features. So anyway, that's all I got for you guys for now. Please check my YouTube page for updates, because usually that's where I'm going to be posting stuff. And as I mentioned, the two links, this one here and this one here, my GitHub, my main GitHub, are going to be the locations that I'm posting in the bottom link of this video that you're watching right now. So that's all I have for you guys. Thanks. This is Mike, AI5 QK.